I'm pedaling a stationary bike at 0800 in the CO's flats just below the bridge, getting in a quick morning workout before my watch starts. I'm pedaling and smiling to myself as the morning wakey wakey song plays throughout the ship. Rains in Africa by Toto. The XO comes on the Shincom and welcomes us to our first day in the NATO Task Force SNMG-1, or Standing NATO Maritime Group 1, and the Horn of Africa in the Arabian Sea. His tone of voice is light and hopeful. There's an energy going around the crew. I can feel it. We're finally doing what we've been waiting for through 3 months of routine maneuvers, diplomatic missions, and training scenarios. But this is it. This is what we spend our whole careers training for. Operational deployment. I remember that excitement, feeling hope and future. I'm lucky to be here. This will make my young career look good. I'm up and coming. I'm going somewhere. We're all so important. You can tell by the embedded journalists and the camera crew, by our fully loaded guns, and the coffin cargo strapped to the bulkhead in the hangar. We are a force to be reckoned with, and we want a piece of the action. We are a hungry shark prowling our hunting grounds. Action. I'm standing on the bridge by the bosun mate's desk. I'm excited when I hear the distress call come in over the radio. I'm about to start to make my way to my section base in anticipation of the action stations the captain's about to order. I pause. Then I'm confused. Things aren't happening the way they're supposed to. No one's moving fast enough. The navcom has his head in his hands. The bosun mate's hands, which should be pressing buttons on the shincom and holding the pipe that lies discarded in the desk, are drumming restlessly on the desk's plexiglass surface. The CO and the XO are talking in hushed tones between themselves in their chairs up forward. There's a horrible voice on the radio that I will never forget. The voice is begging over and over for us to respond. There's a tight, constricted desperation in the voice that I don't think I've ever heard before, and I haven't heard since. This voice is afraid for its life, and you can hear the fear. The captain continues his dialogue and reaches up to his radio at the deckhead above his chair and turns down the volume of that voice. What the hell is going on? Why aren't we responding? I'm asking these questions to the tired-looking bosun mate. He simply tells me, we're too far away. In order to maintain our fuel supply, we're only responding to distress calls that occur very close to us, even though most of the calls that are coming in are inside our area of responsibility according to NATO. Somebody neglected to factor in the extra fuel needed to speed through the hundreds of kilometers of water we are supposed to be protecting. Somebody decided that it's more important to have fuel than to speed to the rescue, only to arrive minutes or hours later, only to have the pirates' hijacking completed and the captured vessel moved to a new location, and our fuel tanks empty. If we were to follow NATO's rules of engagement and respond, we would end up dead in the water, waiting on refueling, which is strictly scheduled around the task group, in the middle of an empty part of the ocean, of no use to anyone. The bosun mate explains this to me while the voice begs in the background. We are not a shark, and we don't go hunting. Instead, we are a spider stuck in its web, cursed with waiting. We can't even acknowledge their distress call because maritime law decrees that if you acknowledge a distress call, you are bound to respond to that distress call. So we can't even tell them that we've heard them. How many, I ask? How many distress calls are we getting? How often does this happen? I only visit the bridge for a few minutes every other day. 6 to a dozen a day, he tells me wearily. He's stuck at his post, they all are. And they can't shut the radio off, they're forced to listen. A terrible thick silence fills the bridge while everyone listens to the poor voice pleading for help. I'm just standing. Time seems to stop. The beauty of the endless sun and sparkling blue ocean makes no sense here. My gaze lowers until I'm staring at the deck. First I feel disbelief, then shock, then a spreading numbness. Something inside me is curling up, shutting down, turning away. The voice goes up half an octave as it explains they've been boarded. It won't be long now until it's over. I now feel nothing, and I don't want to hear any more. I move my legs mechanically as I walk towards the door. The bridge isn't my post. I can leave whenever I want. I want to go deep down inside Winnipeg now. I don't remember leaving the bridge, but I must have, since now I'm standing in the cave, pouring myself a cup of coffee.